We can do our part by stopping spending like we were drunken sailors. Actually, we're worse than drunken sailors, because drunken sailors stop spending when they run out of money.
What if the next thing they take from you isn't your vote, your speech, or your privacy, but your money? While most Americans were busy trying to keep up with bills, inflation, and rising costs, something far more dangerous was happening behind closed doors in Washington. Senator John Kennedy just walked into a Senate hearing and pulled back the curtain on a financial system that looks less like freedom and more like control. From political debanking to Federal Reserve pressure to the growing push toward a system where your access to money can be monitored, limited, or quietly cut off, Kennedy says this isn't just policy anymore, it's a trap. And what he uncovered in this hearing could change the way you look at your bank account forever. So before we get to the moment that left the room dead silent, hit subscribe and stay with me to the end, because what Kennedy exposes next is something every American needs to hear.
All up, Warren, 64.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this bill that we're looking at fails to address foundational gaps on money laundering responsibilities for conventional crypto businesses and for DeFi services. And even for the very worst platforms, this bill fails to restore sanctions authority to isolate them. While we're at war, Iran is openly gearing up to collect crypto fees from oil tankers to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Terrorist groups, rogue states, foreign adversaries, and criminals are using crypto to evade our sanctions and launder their money. According to industry analysts, crypto crime jumped at least $154 billion last year, driven in large part by a 694% increase in crypto funds sent to sanctioned entities. Sanctioned entities are receiving these. Look, we need to fix the hole in our sanctions authority and crack down on crypto money laundering. In 2022, the United States sanctioned a notorious mixer called Tornado Cash that had been used to launder more than $7 billion for criminals and foreign adversaries, including more than $450 million for a North Korean hacking group. These types of crypto services are designed to make it easy to launder a huge pile of money and making it hard for anyone, including our law enforcement officials, to tell where the money came from. They are a favorite tool for hackers, for terrorist groups, and for sanctioned regimes. But a court said Treasury needed Congress, us, to act before it would be able to sanction the mixers like Tornado Cash. So this amendment is simple. It restores the authority to isolate and sanction decentralized crypto platforms that repeatedly facilitate transactions with terrorist organizations like ISIS or Al-Qaeda, or with North Korea, Russia, or Iran. And I urge my colleagues to support this amendment.
Senator Lummis for a rebut.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The reason that's happening is because this bill is not law. When this bill becomes law, it includes robust provisions in Titles 2 and 3 to address illicit finance and sanctions. And it focuses these provisions where they'll be most effective. For example, it provides law enforcement with the tools they need to trace and disrupt money laundering and clarifies sanctions and anti-money laundering requirements for digital asset entities. We want to discourage the illegitimate use of digital assets while encouraging the legitimate use. And we have found that balance in this bill. This amendment is not necessary. I urge that we oppose the amendment.
Mr. Chairman.
Kennedy?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Senator Kennedy.
Do I have your permission to ask Senator Warren a quick question?
15 seconds.
Yes, sir.
It'll take them that long to clear.
Senator Warren, I don't understand why this bill doesn't already accomplish the very worthy goal that you've articulated.
May I answer? Mr. Chairman, may I answer?
15 seconds.
It's the tornado problem. You remember tornado, the mixer. What this amendment does is it says that the government can sanction and wall off a mixer like tornado. What purpose does tornado serve except to hide where the money came from and where the money's going to? And who needs to hide where the money came from and where the money's going to? It's the terrorists, it's the money launderers, it's Iran, it's the sanctioned entities. So all this is doing is it's saying, let's give the power, it doesn't actually isolate them in the bill, let's give the power to government to say, when this is what you're doing, they can isolate you when you're dealing with these bad actors. You're mixing up the money so that you advance money laundering.
Senator Lummis, and then we'll move to the vote.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chairman. This bill provides for a study of the use of mixes and tumblers. They're a very complicated entity, plus provides $30 million to FinCEN, which does have the expertise to unravel mixes and tumblers and already has the tools it needs to enforce.
Yeah. Can I just say on that, yes, they have the expertise, but they don't have the legal authority. A court has said they need legal authority from Congress so that they will be able to isolate these mixers. Right now, they can't do that. So put your money in if you're a terrorist, go use Tornado, and know that there will be virtually no chance of being caught. And that this is how Iran can stay in the game and keep using its money.
Right.
This is how North Korea stays in. I'm sorry.
Certainly. Rebut, Senator Lummis. Bill solves that problem?
Yes, Title II and III. And it's in illicit finance sanctions focus on providing law enforcement with the tools they need to trace and disrupt money laundering, including mixes
A
and
study.
tumblers. Well, the law enforcement tools are also in this bill.
Clerk, call the roll. No?
Mr. Crapo? No. Mr. Rounds? No. Mr. Tillis? No. Mr. Kennedy? No. Mr. Haggerty?
Haggerty's no.
Ms. Lummis?
No.
Mrs. Britt? No. Mr. Ricketts? No. Mr. Banks? No. Mr. Kramer? No. Mr. Moreno? No. Mr. McCormick?
No.
Ms. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Reed? Yes. Mr. Warner? Aye. Mr. Van Hollen?
Yes, by proxy.
Ms. Cortez Masto? Aye. Ms. Smith? Aye. Mr. Warnock? Aye. Mr. Kim? Aye. Mr. Gallego? Aye. Ms. Blunt Rochester? Aye. Ms. Alsobrooks?
Aye.
The vote is 11 in favor and 13 opposed.
I want extra time, Mr. Chairman.
I know, sir. I know.
Consider these 5 minutes a parliamentary inquiry. Professor, what's a sock puppet?
I heard the reference from Senator Warren.
Yeah, what
earlier.
is it?
I'm not sure I know. I think
Okay.
it's that thing you stick your hand in.
Yeah, kind of like this.
Yes.
What's a human sock puppet? Isn't a human sock puppet somebody who'll do what somebody else tells them to do?
I think that's what the senator was trying to suggest. I
Are you
think that
going
was
to
the
be
innuendo.
Are you going to be the president's human sock puppet?
Senator, absolutely not.
Are you going to be anybody's human sock puppet?
No, I'm honored the president nominated me for the position, and I'll be an independent actor if confirmed as chairman of the Federal Reserve.
My friend Senator Warren, and she, as my friend, suggested that, I wrote it down, you will use your power, you might use your power to bail out your friends if they get in trouble, kind of like President Biden did with Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. She didn't say the last part, I just did. Are you going to do that?
No, Senator.
Okay. The ethics folks, they've cleared you, but they've said you've got to sell some assets. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And these assets that you have, You can't just hold a yard sale, can you?
No, not for most of them. Sir.
Okay, so it takes a reasonable period of time, right?
Yes, sir.
And you've promised to sell them, right?
I did.
And if you don't sell them, we'll know, and the ethics folks will know, right?
Yes, I'd be in violation of the ethics agreement if I refuse to sell them.
But you're going to sell them, right?
Yes, Senator, I will.
Okay. Can we agree that politicians have the right to offer you advice about what to do with interest rates?
Senator, we can agree, and it's not something that I would shy away from. I've heard many senators from this very committee in years past express strong views on interest rates.
Okay.
Humble central bankers should be listening and then making their own decisions.
Some politicians matter more than others. And generally speaking, presidents matter, their opinion matters more than, say, a senator. President Trump has offered his opinion about what you ought to do with interest rates. Is that right?
Senator, he has not made his opinion on that a secret to anybody.
Yeah. And every president has that you're aware of.
Yes,
Hasn't it?
and they all tend to be in the same direction, Senator Kennedy.
Okay. Now, the problem is, can we agree that your credibility as Fed chairman is the most important thing you have?
It's the most important thing to me, it's the most important thing to the institution, and it's the most important thing to the successful conduct of policy.
Okay.
If the
that's
markets
that's
think
a
that you-
yes, right?
Yes, Senator.
Okay. The problem is that President Trump has said he's not going to appoint anybody who wouldn't agree to lower interest rates. Have you agreed with the president that you're going to lower interest rates?
Senator, I'm glad you framed it that way. The president never asked me to predetermine, commit, fix, decide on any interest rate decision in any of our discussions, nor would I ever agree to do so.
So the president has never sat you down, looked you in the eye, and said, here's the deal, Scooter. I'm going to appoint you, but you got to agree to lower interest rates. That didn't happen, or it did happen?
The president never once asked me to commit to any particular interest rate decision, period, and nor would I ever agree to do so if he had, but he never did. I was honored he nominated me. Like everyone else in the committee in the world, I've heard his view on interest rates. It sounded very similar to me to every other president in economic history that I've studied.
Okay. I've got one more question because I'm about to run out of my parliamentary inquiry time. I've heard your argument the last few months about artificial intelligence has made us so productive, labor so productive that companies don't have to raise prices. Therefore, inflation isn't a problem. Therefore, rates can be cut. Do you really believe that right now?
No, that is not how I would characterize the story on AI.
Okay, but you've said what I just said, haven't you?
I have said that this is the most disruptive moment in modern economic history in the U.S. and the world. I've said that artificial intelligence, AI, short
Okay,
for
let me
American
stop you
ingenuity,
because
can have a big
the
effect.
chair's going to cut me off.
Oops, sorry.
Here's my worry, that a lot of this stuff about artificial intelligence making us more productive is a bunch of hype by people who want to sell stock in an IPO. Okay, I'd be careful there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We'll start our questions this morning with Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that courtesy. Madam Vice Chair. Credit should be given when it is due. I remember, 3 or 4 years ago, Chairman Powell and others were giving a report on the economy. Inflation was 9%. Was gutting the American people like a fish. Stevie Wonder could have seen it coming. President Biden asked and Congress consented, I didn't, that we start spending money like it had the value of Louisiana ditch water. Had President Biden, had we discovered life on Mars when President Biden was president, he would have sent it money immediately. And I remember the Federal Reserve, represented by Chairman Powell, sitting here, and we're talking about what to do about it. And he explained his plans, and in so many words, I said, not going to work. I've read the white papers. You can get inflation down, but we're going to have to suffer unemployment of 7, 8, 9%. It didn't happen, did it? We had a soft landing. And the Federal Reserve was in part responsible, in the best sense of the word, for that. And we don't applaud that enough. And we can debate whether the chairman and the vice chairman and others should raise or lower interest rates, and what we should do about quantitative easing, and how many economists can dance on the head of the pin. But it's a fact. We had a soft landing. Thank God for it. Now, inflation is not down where we want, but 2.7% is a hell of a lot better than 9%, without having to suffer 7, 8, 9, 10% unemployment and the human misery that goes with it. So the Fed did something right. On the other hand, what in God's name was the Fed and some of your other agencies thinking when you allowed banks to debank customers for reputational risk? Are you kidding me? Why did you allow that to happen? Because you didn't like their politics, or you didn't like the products they made. I mean, do you think it would be fair? Senator Warren's not here, so I hesitate to talk about it. Senator Warren was a distinguished professor at Harvard University. Some people don't like Harvard. Some people don't like their politics. How could you possibly allow a bank to have the option? I'm not saying they did it, but to debank someone like Senator Warren, I'm using her as a hypothetical example, because you didn't like her politics. And you can say the same thing about gun manufacturers and oil and gas and anybody you don't like, and you let the banks do it. What in God's name were y'all thinking, Madam Vice Chair?
Well, Senator, I appreciate your concerns, and I share them. I was not the vice chair at the time
I know that.
decisions were made.
But your institution went along with it. The banks proposed it, and your institution sucked it up like a Hoover Deluxe.
In my view, debanking is never an appropriate activity. It is every American in this country should have access to financial services, and they should not be limited from access to those services based on their political, religious beliefs, or their engagement in a particular business that may be disfavored but is legally
Let me tell you, folks, this isn't over yet. Thank you, Mr. Chair. What in God's name was the Fed and some of your other agencies thinking when you allowed banks to debank customers for reputational risk? Are you kidding me? Why did you allow that to happen? Because you didn't like their politics, or you didn't like the products they made. I mean, do you think it would be fair? Senator Warren's not here, so I hesitate to talk about it. Senator Warren was a distinguished professor at Harvard University. Some people don't like Harvard. Some people don't like their politics. How could you possibly allow a bank to have the option? I'm not saying they did it, but to debank someone like Senator Warren, I'm using her as a hypothetical example, because you didn't like her politics. And you can say the same thing about gun manufacturers and oil and gas and anybody you don't like, and you let the banks do it. What in God's name were y'all thinking, Madam Vice Chair?
Well, Senator, I appreciate your concerns, and I share them. I was not the vice chair at the time
I know that.
decisions were made.
But your institution went along with it. The banks proposed it, and your institution sucked it up like a Hoover Deluxe.
In my view, debanking is never an appropriate activity. It is, every American in this country should have access to financial services, and they should not be limited from access to those services based on their political, religious beliefs, or their engagement in a particular business that may be disfavored but is legally
Let me tell you, folks, this isn't over yet. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. Interesting questions. Mr. Maxwell, you're a farmer, is that right?
Yes, Senator.
Excuse me. You used to be a farmer, or you still are?
Yes, Senator, I grew up on a farm. I'm fourth-generation Missouri farmer. My brother does most of the farming. I do this activity more. I do have degrees in ag economics and a law degree. But I still actively farm. I've got over 100 ewes on the farm. We have hogs production. We're kind of the diversified, traditional family farm type operation. Lease out some of the land to the neighbor boy.
Yeah. Well, America was born on a farm, so thank you for that.
And thank you, Senator.
Dr. Owens, you talked about in order to commit a crime, you have to have means, motive, and opportunity. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Well, and you have suggested that it's not an optimal situation to have, well, strike that. Let me just get after it here. What crime are you accusing the four major food companies of?
Price gouging, sir.
Okay. You think they're price fixing?
In some cases, absolutely.
Okay. Name the four companies that you are accusing of price fixing.
In the grocery sector or more broadly?
The four you've been talking about.
I mean, so I think...
Name me every company that you think is price fixing in violation of the antitrust laws.
Yeah, I mean, so the most recent example that I think is worth considering is Agristat.
Yes, ma'am, but if you don't mind, we'll come back and do the examples. Name me the companies that you're accusing of price fixing.
Well, the first one is Agristats, which the Department of Justice has sued for price fixing.
Who else?
In the grocery sector, we've got Walmart, we've got Kroger.
Walmart is price fixing.
No, I haven't accused them of price fixing. What I've said is that they're able to expand their markup.
Let me start over here. I want you price fixing is a serious crime, Doc. You can go to jail for that. And I want to be sure I understand your testimony. Who are you accusing of price fixing?
Yeah, look, what my testimony clearly states
No,
is that...
tell me which companies you're accusing of price fixing. You said some were price fixing, and I want to know which ones.
Yeah, I mean, look...
I may report them myself.
The company that's absolutely under investigation by the DOJ
Which ones are price fixing?
I think the Federal Trade Commission and the Department of Justice should take a close look at the four major grocers. They should take a close look at the four major meat packers.
There are currently
there's pending litigation.
Which companies are price fixing?
Tyson is a great example. Tyson, the large meat packer.
Okay, who else?
The big four meat packers are all
Who else?
currently
That's one.
under,
Who else?
Like I said, I think looking at the four major grocers makes sense in this setting.
Which four are price fixing?
Walmart, Albertsons,
Walmart's price
Kroger.
fixing. Wait,
I didn't say they were. I said taking a look.
You just said they were. You can't come here and say and imply they're price fixing and then say they're price fixing. That's a serious allegation. You can be sued for defamation.
I said we should take a close look
Now,
at the
let me
companies
go
who
back.
are-
I want to be sure I understand your testimony. Are you telling me right here today that you're accusing Walmart of price fixing?
I'm not personally accusing Walmart of price fixing. I am suggesting
Who are
that
you accusing of price fixing? That's a serious charge.
neither my written testimony nor my oral testimony makes explicit legal claims.
So you're not accusing anybody of price fixing.
No, I have pointed out that the Department of Justice is currently looking
Who
at
are
price
you
fixing
accusing
by
of price
agri-stats.
fixing? Why won't you answer my question? Who are you accusing of price fixing?
I'm pretty sure I have answered your question.
No, you
Senator.
haven't. Just tell me the names of the companies, one by one. What's the first company that you're accusing of price fixing?
I've mentioned AgriStats is currently
Agra what?
AgriStats.
All right, who's number two?
I said Tyson's is currently under
Tyson's
investigation for
is price fixing.
Yeah.
Who's number three?
I've also said that I think the Department of Justice and the FTC should take a close look at
Who's
the
number three?
major grocery
Who's number
retailers.
three? Is Walmart price fixing?
I think that they should take a look at the
Is
extent to
Walmart
which-
price fixing?
They should take a look at it.
Is Walmart price fixing?
I can't currently answer that question. I said that the
You
Department
won't
of
answer
Justice,
that question.
No, I
How
said
about
that
Albertsons? Is Albertsons price fixing?
the Department of Justice and the Federal Trade Commission
Is Albertsons price fixing?
should take a close look at that.
Is Albertsons price fixing?
Again, I think the Department of Justice should take a close look.
You don't want to say.
No,
Now,
I mean, look, I'm not at the FTC. I'm not at the DOJ.
yes,
It's not-
ma'am, but you've
it's not my
accused
job
these
to
companies of breaking the law, and I think that you ought to have the courage to say in front of God and country what you believe. Now, you either do or you don't.
Look, I believe that when companies get larger and larger,
I understand
and
what
larger,
you believe,
it
but I
becomes easier and
understand
easier
you're
and
waffling
easier to
like a
coordinate.
bank catfish. Okay,
It's easy to coordinate price hikes
Dr.
when you're
Antoni,
large and there are
Dr.
fewer
Antoni,
companies.
I think it's been well established that if we discovered life on Mars tomorrow, Joe Biden would send it money. To what extent has his deficit spending contributed to inflation? And do you know of any of these companies? Would you care to accuse someone of a crime here today? And if anybody else would, just let me know. If somebody is price fixing, I want to know. I'll report them myself. And I'm going to want to see your evidence. Otherwise, you subject yourself to defamation. But let me go back to my original question. What was it, Mars? Was it Mars or Jupiter? I forgot. Is the amount of money that President Biden has insisted on spending contributed to inflation? Duh. What's your answer to that?
Well, Senator, regarding the price fixing, I have no evidence because there is no evidence of that, so I can't provide that to you. But to answer the hypothetical on Mars, absolutely that would add to inflation. And yes, the deficit spending under this president, but really under any president, it doesn't matter that it's Joe Biden in particular in the White House doing it. Any person who did, if any person did what he did, it would have the exact same effect, which is this massive run up in prices. Because again, it's not that things are more valuable, it's that the dollar is worth less. So it takes more dollars to buy exactly what you used to. And if you look at, again, the Biden administration's own data, these aren't my figures, these are figures from the Biden administration. They show that prices paid by businesses and prices paid by consumers have gone up almost exactly the same, about 19% during his tenure. And so this idea that somehow the prices that consumers, that I, that all of the people that you represent are paying are somehow the cause of anything other than costs simply being passed on to them, the data simply don't support that.
Okay. How about you, Doc?
Excuse me. No evidence. No, I'm not accusing anyone of price fixing.
Are you a lawyer by chance?
I'm sorry?
Are you a lawyer by chance?
Oh, no, I'm not. Just an economist.
Okay. What happens if you accuse somebody of price fixing and they didn't do it?
I probably don't want to be that person.
You got good insurance?
Yeah. No, I'm not. Not doing that.
Okay. Go ahead.
As far as the fiscal stimulus stuff, that's a standard economic model. And you can go back and look, multiple people, Olivier Blanchard is one, some of the upper bound estimates on how big the shortfall in demand was after COVID and the shutdowns. So like one of the largest upper bound estimates that I've seen is about $680 billion, just the COVID package of 1.9 trillion. That's already almost 3 times the size of that. So that's
You want to go now?
Sure.
All right.
Let the record reflect that the senator from Louisiana is far more loquacious than the Baptist preacher.
And that's a high standard.
That's
Senator
my friend.
Warnock.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
And now that the hearing is over, the most dangerous part begins. The part where Washington hopes you move on, scroll away, and forget what you just saw. Because what happened in that room was bigger than one exchange, bigger than one senator, and bigger than one viral moment. Senator John Kennedy didn't just score political points today. He touched a nerve that reaches into the everyday life of every person watching this video. Your paycheck, your savings, your bank account, your ability to live freely without asking permission from a system that keeps getting bigger, colder, and more comfortable with power. That's why this hearing matters. Not because it was loud, not because it was dramatic, but because underneath all the talking points and official language, something much darker showed itself for just a moment. The idea that the institutions running your financial life may no longer be neutral. The idea that access to money could become a privilege instead of a right. The idea that if the wrong people decide your beliefs, your politics, or your business are inconvenient, they could slowly squeeze you out of the system while pretending it's all just regulation. And that is exactly why Kennedy's style works. He strips the issue down to what regular people instantly understand. He doesn't dress it up. He doesn't hide it behind $10 words. He forces the room to confront the plain truth. If a government, a regulator, or a bank can pressure the system against people it dislikes, then this stops being about policy and starts becoming about control. That is what makes this so personal, because viewers are not just watching a senator argue with officials, they are imagining themselves being next. Imagine waking up one day and finding out your account has been flagged. Imagine trying to run a business, support a family, donate to a cause, or even move your own money, and suddenly discovering that somebody else has decided your financial freedom is conditional. That fear is why this topic is powerful. It hits deeper than partisan politics. It touches survival, independence, and dignity. And when a video makes the audience feel that level of personal risk, retention goes up, comments go up, shares go up, and that is how a hearing clip becomes a viral political video. But here's the part they never expect. People are no longer as easy to fool as they used to be. Viewers can feel when a system is drifting away from fairness. They can hear when an answer is polished but empty. And when someone like Kennedy comes in and asks the blunt question that everybody at home is already thinking, the entire tone of the room changes. That's what you saw today. Not just a senator asking questions, but a public official forcing a hidden fear into the open, where millions of people can finally see it clearly. Now the question is bigger than this one hearing. If this is where the system is heading, how far does it go? If they can justify it with one target today, who becomes the next target tomorrow? If they can call it reputational risk, national security, compliance, or modernization, how long before ordinary people are the ones paying the price? That's the tension that keeps an audience watching to the very end, because this is no longer about what happened in the hearing. It's about what happens next. So now I want to hear from you. Do you believe this was just routine oversight, or do you think Kennedy exposed something much bigger? Put money in the comments if you think this issue is only getting started. Put trap if you think the system already went too far. And if you want more Kennedy videos built exactly like this, fast, aggressive, high stakes, and focused on the clips that actually matter, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who still thinks none of this can happen here. Because once people realize their money could be the next battlefield, they stop watching politics as entertainment and start watching it like their future depends on it. And maybe that's the real reason videos like this matter. Not because they create outrage, but because they wake people up. The hearing may be over. The questions are not. The warning has been delivered. The spotlight is on. And if Kennedy is right, then this wasn't just another Senate moment. It was the beginning of something much bigger. Stay until the next video, because the next clip may hit even harder than this one.